I really wish I could supercharge all of you watching with a heightened level of awe and wonder as you begin to take in here and fully appreciate the sheer majesty and vastness of the universe in which we live. And also that this sense of wonder and a curiosity to discover more would stay with you through this three-part series. But as the title of the series implies, there is this distinct mystery and, I'll add, a growing controversy among scientists studying origins concerning the mounting evidence of one simple word: design. Now, roiling the scientific community is much of the newest satellite data and the revolutionary discoveries concerning DNA and related life molecules by microbiologists around the world. And that is what you're about to discover in this series. Okay, glad you tapped in. Now, I want you to stay in, if I can talk into that, because there's going to be some things here that you don't know. I think that's going to be safe to say, and you'll see that up ahead. You know, racing behind me here, a lot of stars, a lot of things happening, and well, there was a little bit of a meteorite shower there. We're okay, though. Now, look, the cosmos, the universe, mind-boggling things out there. And you think science has got it all figured out? No way, no clue. Well, I shouldn't say no clue. There's good evidence that's coming in, but they are like clues in a Sherlock Holmes mystery novel. The scientists are taking a look at this. Some of them I think are coming to good conclusions, right conclusions. Some of them are just holding on to traditional things that they've thought for bullheaded, or been trained maybe in a bullheaded manner for so many years. But we're going to be looking at some of the newest evidence for both the cosmological design, the universe, in other words, where did it come from? Big Bang, okay, but what was the Big Bang? We're going to look at some things that you don't know about. I think that's a pretty safe assurance. And then we're going to look at life. We're going to go down into the, if you will, the life science laboratories and look at people who are doing incredible research now on DNA and other life molecules, seeing the mind-boggling amount of program specificity, complexity in the DNA. We're going to look at these things, and I've got other video clips. Like, who am I? Nothing, you know, right? I don't have a PhD in these things, but I've done a lot of research. I'm pretty good at research, and I'm pretty good at pulling things together. So I'm going to show you some video clips that are out on YouTube. And down below later, take a look at the list that I have there. You can get some ideas about what you want to watch if you want to go a bit deeper than even what we're going to be doing here. Though I'm going to go fairly deep here in these, I think probably it'll end up being 3 videos, so stay with us. All right, I mentioned mind-boggling complexity. I mentioned clues like in a Sherlock Holmes novel. But we think that we're really only seeing, maybe at best, 1% of what's out there. Now, I want you to think in terms of scientists. I think you're going to see this shortly. There is currently a real clash of values going on, not only in this culture, all right, we're going to look at that a little bit, but between and among scientists who are really starting to butt heads on these issues of intelligent design. That's where the evidence is coming. And a lot of scientists just can't get away with it, with avoiding it any longer. Intelligent design. Okay, let me go a little bit deeper with you now. The difference between extra-dimensional intelligence and extraterrestrial intelligence. Hey, okay, I know everybody's interested. I am too. And the possibility of UFOs visiting from vastly outside of, vast distances away, outside of this current galaxy in which we live, not to mention our own solar system, but way out there somewhere. Possibility of that, versus, let's just look at another angle, the extra-dimensional intelligence issue. That is, outside of this space-time dimension that all of this universe occupies, including any potential aliens that are way out there. It's another dimension or dimensions. Scientists have some ideas and theories about that. Some of them don't make much sense. We're going to look at a little bit of that now.
Because Stephen Hawking was just ahead of me at Cambridge. I can remember him quite well, though I didn't know him. And I was rather amused that when the Times interviewed him and asked him about religion, he said religion is a fairy story for people afraid of the dark. And I was asked to comment, so I said atheism is a fairy story for people afraid of the light. Now, it's very kind of you to clap, but that proves nothing. One of the things you learn in the world that I work, and it's very important, is that a statement by a scientist is not necessarily a statement of science. Now, what amazes me about Hawking, who's a genius, obviously, is the heart of his book with Leonard Mlodinow, The Grand Design. The key statement is this: because there is a law of gravity, the universe can and will create itself from nothing. What? Because there is a law of gravity, because there is something, the universe can and will create itself from nothing. That's a flat contradiction. Secondly, because there is a law of gravity, he doesn't even say that gravity exists. But what would a law of gravity mean if there's no gravity? Worse still, the universe can and will create itself. If I say to you, X creates Y, roughly speaking, if you've got X, you'll get Y. If I say X creates X, well, if you've got X, you'll get X. And what does that mean? It means that nonsense remains nonsense even if scientists are writing it. So I was staggered that this is the key argument of his book. I would suggest that nobody with an undergraduate education in philosophy read that book before he published it. Because what he's reduced the whole thing to, and it's ironic, it's God or nothing now. Either God creates the universe or nothing does. And he gets into complications in the definition of nothing. But I was very fortunate in having a debate with Alan Guth, the father of modern cosmology, at the MIT Harvard Faculty Club. And I said to him in this very friendly debate, I said, Alan, people are very confused about nothing out there. So I said, look, you can help us. When you, as an astrophysicist, talk about nothing, you do not mean nothing in the philosophical sense of absence of anything. He said, no, we don't. I said, thank you very much.
That's exactly right.
So, the point is that these people are claiming to get a universe from nothing, but they're failing to do it. And the most amusing of all, I must tell you this, how would you like this if it was submitted to you? Lawrence Krauss, astrophysicist, because something is physical, nothing must be physical, especially if you define it as the absence of something. I mean, that is utter absurdity, and it's on about page 4 of his book. Now, the point is, and Bill is the world expert on this, so I'll stop now, that the standard model of the universe leads you with a start from nothing. And they're having a great problem to get a universe from nothing, so they redefine nothing. As a Christian, I don't believe the universe came from nothing. I believe it came from God, but God is not physical.
There's a widely acclaimed group, internationally acclaimed, called Discovery Institute. They have a website, discovery.org, a little wealth of information up there. I highly recommend you go up there at some point and take a look at some of the videos, some of the monographs, some of the articles that you'll find up there. Now, from that website comes, I think, a very helpful definition of intelligent design. They said this, quote, "The theory of intelligent design holds that certain features of the universe and of living things are best explained by an intelligent cause, not an undirected process such as natural selection," unquote. And they give a lot of good evidence to believe that. Now, here's a quote from someone talking about the mystery of the universe. He said this, quote, "Modern science, for the most part, ignores what it doesn't understand." I think that's pretty profound, and sadly, it's often true. It ignores what it doesn't understand, thus leaving an alarming amount of things in our world today unexplained. All right, I think those two definitions and kind of what I've launched into here with you kind of put us on the right path, so we'll keep heading down that path. Now, for years though, certainly when I was young, that's many years ago, but even till today, many of you out there, maybe high school, college, in your biology and in college and universities, of course, astronomy, physics, and even philosophy classes, there's a bottom line teaching issue. As the teacher stands up there with a blackboard in the background, and the mantra, the standard mantra in just about every school around still is unguided, undirected, unplanned Darwinian evolution. That no longer cuts it. There is you can't deny the evidence. It's coming in. There's a lot of razor's edge fine tuning of what are called the cosmological constants of this universe. What does that mean, cosmological constants? But basically, it's the physical laws of the universe. The laws of physics, gravity, the strong and weak nuclear force, and many others. And these have been set and precisely refined and designed and balanced, if you will, by an intelligence. No getting around that. I've got a couple of really good video clips coming up ahead for you to consider.
As a scientist,
microbiologist,
biochemist,
as a geologist,
neuroscientist,
physician,
biologist, and an engineer,
I think there is overwhelming evidence for intelligent design in nature.
I see intelligent design in the history of life,
in the genetic code of life,
in the molecular machines inside our cells,
in the complexity of life,
in the information embedded in living things,
in the operation of the human brain,
in the features of the human body,
in the chicken and egg causal circularity of life.
As a mathematician, I see great evidence of purpose in the universe.
As a molecular biologist, I see evidence for design everywhere I look, pretty much.
Nature is incomprehensible without inference to purpose and to intelligent design.
The properties of the universe as a whole, and our planet in particular, were fine-tuned for our benefit and for our survival.
In my view, the fossil evidence clearly points towards intelligent design.
I see life as designed because when I look at life at the molecular level, I see exquisite engineering. All cells contain DNA, which include lots of information, and information is only the product of a mind.
Darwin thought living cells were just blobs of jelly, but when I look in a living cell, I see evidence of factories, machines, three-dimensional architectures, enormous amounts of encoded information.
There's power generators, there's manufacturing plants.
Life contains many features that we know from experience only arise from the activity of intelligent agents.
The genetic code is like a software program. It's like somebody would have had to be a coder, would have had to form this particular genetic code. When I see that order and design, I have a really hard time believing that random mutation and natural selection alone can cause the complexity and the diversity we see in life.
When you look at nature at large, what you see is incredible examples of innovation which surpass human technology. Examples include the flight capabilities of a hummingbird, sonar in bats, and greater innovation always implies greater intelligence from a designer.
If you read the message from the molecules, it's really clear. They say clearly, intelligent design, intelligent design, intelligent design is the source of life.
This particular galaxy in which we live, the Milky Way, and I'm going to show a picture right now behind you. Take a look. Now this is just seen from Earth, and this is kind of a time-lapse picture in an area that's quite dark and at night, where the photography was able to begin to see the Milky Way as sort of like a cloud, a sort of semicircular cloud of stars. Actually, that's we live at the edge of the Milky Way galaxy. Now, amazed me when I heard this. Could be up to, scientists think, 100 billion, with a B, stars in the Milky Way galaxy alone. That is a lot of stars. Not only that, but in the deep, deep recesses of space, particularly now being seen in the Webb spacecraft, because it takes pictures in infrared. There are galaxies out there that are so vastly huge, way out in deep space, billions of light years away, they say. There could be up to 1 trillion stars in one galaxy. That is just beyond belief. All right, here, get this set in our minds that there's just such a mystery and a majesty to what's out there. And again, this information that you're going to be seeing shortly, a lot of this you don't know now, and you will shortly, and I think it'll just amaze you.
There's a delicate balance of forces and laws that govern all of this majestic universe around us. We're showing you in this video only a tiny fraction of the vastness astronomers tell us is out there. Here are a few of the estimates currently. The universe spans a diameter of over 150 billion light years. The universe gives strong evidence of being fine-tuned for life on this planet by some outside powerful intelligence. The universe is not eternal. Strong evidence supports the fact that it had a first cause. Albert Einstein, late in life, wrote the following, quote, "Everyone who is seriously involved in the pursuit of science becomes convinced that a spirit is manifest in the laws of the universe, a spirit vastly superior to that of man, and one in the face of which we, with our modest powers, must feel humble." End quote. Well, the Bible, of course, agrees with him, but reveals much more to us about what Einstein only knew as a spirit vastly superior to man. In the Bible's very first book, Genesis, it states simply that the first cause of everything else in the universe was the eternal God.